And one that's not inherently funny. It's another clown thing, actually. It's not supposed to be funny, and it's really just traumatizing to people, but I love it. Is it? For
Oh
some
my god!
reason, for
I
some
love
reason,
it.
I laugh at it, not because I think it's bad, but because I think it's good. Like when he's like,
Yeah.
"Come here, Georgie." Like I can't help but just laugh at
See, I've never seen it, but
it.
even though I'm not, I don't suffer from the what's the term? Caroline, you're working on an article about it now. What's it? Colrophobia?
Yeah. It's a colorophobia.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I suffer from that. Clowns are freaky, but it's not like, oh God, I saw a clown and I'm gonna have nightmares tonight kind of a thing. Because nothing really scares me above all kind of a thing. The scariest thing of all is the unknown, not knowing if I'm gonna die tomorrow kind of a thing more than anything else. But I can totally see why people are freaked out by clowns, and that's one of the reasons why I love the Joker character so much, because
So
the
funny.
Batman character is built around the idea that you're going to be afraid of this Batman, but who's the jovial one that's actually the one murdering people left and right? It's the Joker. It's the clown out of all of them, the one that should be the happy one. And I know so many people that love things like the circus, and they love like the mummers parade and different things like that, where you dress up in that kind of stuff, or mimes or anything like that. But man, there's a great quote by Lon Chaney. Um, there's nothing funny about, I think it's by Lon Chaney. There's nothing funny about a clown at midnight. And I
That's
think
horrifying.
that it is. It's funny for how horrifying it is, because it's true. If you are walking down the street and you see somebody wearing a ski mask, you might think that they're going to rob you. But if you see somebody with a clown mask on, and it's just, you're in the middle of an alley, you're thinking John Wayne Gacy.
It reminds me of the Simpsons episode where Marge opens up the blinds and Bart a kite in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, he's
like
just like,
there's
hello,
nothing
mother.
good that can come of that.
Right?
It's the warped perception of clowns just represent everything that is funny and happy and good in the world. And so to warp that is really taking the core of our happiness and turning it against us. It's like what we think of as innocent and pure can be evil in and of itself, and it just makes you feel like you're not safe no matter what you do.
Well, that's why it's creepier when little kids sing than anything else.
Oh God, I hate when kids sing.
Oh my god,
I
guys.
just think of Freddy Krueger. Like 1, 2, Freddy's
Oh,
come.
two
It's like
Freddy's coming for you.
oh God, like if they had adults singing that, it wouldn't be creepy. It is only creepy because little girls are singing that while playing jump rope. Like that is what makes it horrifying.
Oh man,
For the
that's
wrestling
parenting
fans
right
that follow our stuff, I know there's some that cross over between them. They did a story a couple months ago where one of the characters, he kind of has like a cult following sort of a thing, had been singing the song "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands," and they made it a big thing of like the audience started to get into it because the guy was entertaining enough that people were just like, I don't care if I'm supposed to boo him. This guy's fucking cool. Um, but they wanted to make it creepy again because it wasn't creepy anymore. The fans getting behind it. So what did they do? They had a little kid sing it, and then it became like, okay, now we're fucking creeped out because there's this little kid sitting there singing, "He's got the whole world in his hands," and you get a little kid to sing anything, and it's gonna be creepy. They could sing the national anthem, and it'll be like, oh shit, are bombs falling? Like, what
You want to know what's really creepy, and I feel like I really hope it's in the movie because I've heard that it's in a lot of the footage that's been shown. In Avengers: Age of Ultron, they have Ultron singing "I've Got No Strings" from Pinocchio, and I feel like that would be utterly horrifying to hear. Like I know that's not a horror movie, but if you heard a robot singing "I've Got No Strings," that would just disturb me to no end.
you haven't seen 2001, have you?
I have, yeah.
Oh,
I
you
was-
have? Okay.
Like when you hear Hal singing at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were gonna bring that up,
That's
Caroline?
another one that's just disturbing.
It's a lot more tame when Bender's singing it on Futurama, isn't it? There's a total difference between Bender, doing that in the middle of like a sitcom, than Hal doing that when his brain's frying. Uh, but since you're working on the article about the clown thing, obviously people will check that out eventually. But what are your thoughts on the whole, like, the funny thing is the creepiest kind of a thing, Caroline?
Well, I think there are two sides of it. I think that one side it's because with kids and clowns, it's almost as if there's still a mystery in a way. Children, they don't have a lot of the overlays that we have as adults. Like, they speak whatever they want. They don't really think about feelings or or anything like that. And it's up to adults to put brakes on them. But for the most part, they have no brakes. So when a child is, and then we also tend to assume that kids are all good, that they're born good. They're little angels, and they become evil when they grow up because something horrible happened to them. It's hard for us to imagine what if a kid actually was born evil, which kind of reminds me of the movie and book We Need to Talk About Kevin, which a lot of people might not think it's a horror movie, but I don't know. I know a lot of mothers that watch that, and to them that's like the worst horror movie they've seen in the world. It's like, what if that little thing that you feel like you have to protect and care for, all of a sudden is actually able to do things that you wouldn't even want to imagine an adult doing? Can they have evil thoughts and feelings inside of them? It's almost like we don't want to think about those things. It's very scary. We kind of want to imagine that they're born good, they're our kids, we did the best, so they're going to be okay. But, you don't know. You don't know what's going on inside their minds. Like, if they're drawing, like, a little girl full of, like, blood around them, you just kind of think, they just have an active imagination. But you don't know if they want to do that to their, like, little friend in kindergarten or something. With clowns, it's kind of like that, too, because clowns tend to paint happy faces on themselves a lot. And even adults, when we look at a clown, like, it's harder for our brains to read anything but that very bright paint that is showing a big smile. So we also don't know what's going on inside of them. And it's just that feeling of not being able to trust something that seems to be okay to trust, but might, do something horrible to you. I think that's like a very basic fear of everybody, not being to trust something that looks very nice and looks very good and happy.